Lord God, you are a powerful God. You are the Lord of all lords. You deserve to be praised, O God. We are nothing without you. Thank God for the blessings you've given to us. Thank you for this another day of our life. Lord, we're so sorry for our sins. Sorry for the sometimes that we made you. Lord, help us for this day. Don't let us go through in a bad way and guide us always. Lord, I hope that there will be nothing that happened to us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Everybody, please be seated. Good morning, everyone. Today, we are going to have a debate on a certain issue. Let me read to you first the benefits of this debate. Now, this debate enhances the students' intellectual abilities and social and communicative skills, provides students with the opportunity to think critically, improve their communication abilities, solve problems creatively, and increase their self-confidence as debate affords training in rhetoric persuasion, organized communication, and argument. This debate engages students in writing, like information analysis and in-depth library and internet research, thereby developing their academic research skills. This debate enables students to express their views effectively and to respond cogently to arguments with which they disagree. This also encourages them to take part in a truly scholarly examination of the issues facing the society, thereby molding them to become well-read and well-informed about current issues. Debate also encourages students to value truth and the process of seeking truth. It teaches them to accept responsibility, to articulate a position using to the best of their ability the available evidence and the rules of reason, logic, and relevance. Debate trains also students to listen open-mindedly, recognizing always that new information may alter one's position. It teaches them to welcome evaluation and accept and even encourage disagreement and criticism. Debate also teaches them to reduce disagreement to personal attacks or attacks on groups or classes of individuals. And debate teaches students to value civility even in disagreement. So as we reach the 21st century, the evolution of science and technology gives us ease and comfort in life. In the context of schools, the life of a student nowadays will not be complete without this end thing called gadgets, most especially cell phones. So, per observation, most of our students are hooked in their cell phones, that a large percentage of them become users. The problem on how or on low performance of students in the class usually attributes to the use of cell phones. This morning, we are going to have a debate in our class pertaining to this issue. So our title is, Students Should Not Be Allowed to Use Cell Phones. So we are privileged to have with us our observers, at the same time, our judges for our debate. We have our head teacher of the English department, a debate expert. Let us welcome Mrs. Leonora R. Kaupayan. With us also is an English teacher of our department, Mrs. Eulalia A. Marqueta. And we have also our special program in the arts, theater arts teacher, and at the same time an English teacher. Let's welcome Miss Lorna T. Camacho. May I call in now our moderator, Miss Syra, Miss Nisa.
Good morning, everyone. Before we start with our debate proper, may I read to you the mechanics of our debate and the rubrics to be used for this debate. Mechanics. The debate is composed of 3 speakers and 1 team leader from the affirmative side and 3 speakers, 1 team leader also from the negative side. Audience can ask questions after the speeches of both teams. The affirmative and the negative side are given 5 minutes for their opening statement. Speech time. Speaking time is limited and must occur in the following order. First speaker, affirmative side, constructive speech for 5 minutes. First speaker from the negative side, interpolation for 3 minutes. First speaker from the negative side, constructive speech, 5 minutes. First speaker from affirmative side, interpolation for 3 minutes. Second speaker, affirmative side, constructive speech for 5 minutes. And second speaker from the negative side, interpolation for 3 minutes. Second speaker from the negative side, constructive speech for 5 minutes. And second speaker from the affirmative side, interpolation for 3 minutes. And third speaker from the affirmative side, constructive speech for 5 minutes. And third speaker from the negative side, interpolation for 3 minutes. Third speaker from the negative side, constructive speech for 5 minutes. Third and last but not the least is the third speaker, affirmative side, interpolation for 3 minutes. The 5-minute break from the speaker, the negative side, rebuttal for 5 minutes, and speaker from affirmative side from rebuttal for 5 minutes. And the rubrics of our debate is, first, the organization of clarity. Main arguments or responses are outlined in a clear and orderly way. Second, use of argument. Reasons are given to support the resolution. And third, use the cross-examination and rebuttal. Identification of weakness in the negative themes, arguments, and the ability to define itself against attack. And last, presentation style, tone of voice, clarity of expression, precision of arguments, and all contribute to keeping audience attention and persuading them of the team's case. And the speaker should tackle about the necessity aspect of proposition, and the second speaker, the beneficiality, and the third speaker, the practicality. And now, I would like to introduce to you the team leader from the affirmative side, Ms. Kay Kathleen S. And from the team leader from the negative side, Ms. Joanna Marie Tizon. And now, let's begin.
Good morning, everyone. I am Kate Kathleen S. Saldoa, the team leader of the affirmative side, and here are the members of the affirmative side. The first speaker is Marjorie T. Maizo. The second speaker is Randy Jun C. Balonjo. And the third speaker is Rachel Ann L. Romero. Cellular phones, one of the greatest inventions in the late 20th century, now have become the newest addiction in the world. Since the smartphone is invented, more and more people are addicted to its entertaining system. Even though cell phone is quite important for many different fields of professions, entertainment of mobile phone is now overstepped its basic needed in daily life. Mobile entertainment system comprises a range of activities associated with mobile electronics except its basic mobile telecommunication, data transmission, and texting messages. Everything you play within your cell phone could be an entertainment software such as games, social networking, Twitter, Facebook, Skype, Bluetooth, and video software. Some people even call cell phone the newest cigarette for seeing how people playing with it at once while they have a break. For instance, a Korean university student who named Lee owns two cell phones. Why? Because he uses his best cell phone that is to reduce the equips you carry around with you. A new study found that a third of people are willing to give up a week of sex than their cell phone. Of course, cell phone is important to some of people because of their job. Police, stockbrokers, or doctors might have a great loss if they miss a phone call. Cell phone rise their working efficiency. Obviously, however, it is really important for students that hold a cell phone all day long. It's reasonable that they would like to contact their family and friends. But if you spend 5 hours staring at the screen every day, you must be addicted to your phone. It is believed that cell phone has greater advantages than its disadvantages. And we shouldn't stop to use cell phone as a popular communication tool. But when cell phone addiction grows stronger and stronger, people will eventually realize how serious it is. And now, may I call on the first speaker of the affirmative side.
Good morning, everyone. I am Marjorie Maisog, the first speaker of the affirmative side. I will discuss to you the partial side of the issue. There are many reasons why students should not be allowed to use cell phones. First, cell phones distract students' attention in participating in class discussion and performing in the class. Students' focus on the lessons will be affected if the student's attention is always on his or her phone. If there are callers, students will always be out of the classroom. The students will some teachers are distracted during their lectures. Aside from that, using cell phones during class hours could also distract other students who are listening to their teacher. Cheating will become rampant in this classroom, most especially during exam or quizzes, since students will ask answers from their classmates through text or answer will be easily passed to their students through group messaging. Some students have poor performance in the class or fail in their subjects due to addiction to their cell phones. Second, cell phones are impersonal and rather antisocial. Using cell phones hinder a student to communicate or talk personally to his friends, classmates, or teacher. If students are always glued to their phones, they have very limited time to contact with other people. Hence, we are not building relationships with others, instead we are building walls. Third, students who are fond of using cell phones are prone to cyberbullying. If cell phones are allowed to be used throughout the school day, there will be more time for students to use technology to bully other students. If this activity of students will be continued, it could prove detrimental to students' education. According to Edith Mukherjee of Archbishop Carroll High School in Washington, D.C., the three common rules of school cell phone policies are: first, the use of cell phone is prohibited during class hours. A class's cell phone policy is a blanket ban on the use of cell phone during school hours or on school premises. Second, is cell phone disciplinary action. Many policies call for confiscation of cell phones for a set period of time that can range from 1 week to the whole school year. And lastly, cell phone liability limits. This limitation of liability also extends to unauthorized calls, texts, or photos on school grounds that could imply criminal activity. Most students who become victims of crime, like rape, drugs, swindling, or gangs, or those who constantly use cell phones and those who talk to strangers. Our school, being alarmed with their personal problems, already formulated a school policy of banning the use of cell phones inside the classroom during class hours. Thus, the school gestures of prohibiting students in the use of cell phones during class hours increase students' focused participation in their classes and decreasing the rate of failure among students.
Are there any questions from second from the negative side?
Do you think those policies are implemented in our school?
Yes, in our school, Isami Occidental National High School, we have a standing policy that students should not be allowed to use cell phone at school because it causes distraction, such as the student did not listen anymore to the teacher because he or she is focused on his or her cell phone, and it proved detrimental to students' education.
And now I would like to, and let me call in the team leader from the negative side.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Joanna Marie Quezon, and I am the team leader of the opposition side. And the first speaker of the opposition side is Manny M. Bungkayaw. The second speaker of the opposition side is Julian M. Danyola. The third speaker of the opposition side is Carl Ivan Horteliano. Cell phones. Cell phones have become a necessity for many people throughout the world. The ability to keep in touch with family, business associates, and access to email are only a few of the reasons for the increasing importance of cell phones. Today, technically, advanced cell phones are capable of not only receiving and placing phone calls, but storing data, taking pictures, and can even be used as walkie-talkies to name just few are available options. When cell phones are first introduced to the public, they were bulky, expensive, and some even required a base unit that even to be transported along with a cell phone. Good reception was a major problem, and in general, early cell phones could only be used in certain locations, where the signal was particularly strong. As cell phone technology advanced, and using them become less of a problem. Today, cell phone reception has improved greatly due to the use of satellites and wireless services. As cell phones improved and became simple to use, the importance of cell phones increased accordingly. Cell phones are a perfect way to stay connected with others and provide the user with a sense of security. In the event of emergency, having a phone can allow help to reach you quickly and can possibly save lives. However, the importance of cell phones goes way beyond personal safety. Modern cell phones are capable of internet access, sending files, and receiving photos and files. And some cell phones are equipped with GPS technology, allowing for the use in most locations around the world and allowing cell phones to be found for the user located in the event of loss or emergency. And now, I would like to call the first speaker of the opposition side.
Good morning, everyone. I am Manny M. Bungkayaw. I am the first speaker of the negative side. I am going to present the advantages of using cell phones. There are more reasons why cell phones need to be used by students in school. First, cell phones used to monitor the students or children by both parents and teachers. can use as technology to monitor their students or children at school. Aside from monitoring their students, cell phones can use as emergency tool because of various reasons. Sometimes they are natural disasters or gunshots which are so common in our school today.
Hindi katulas
Also, our children or students face many predators while at school or off the campus. Children kidnappers are one of the ways, so it must for schools to allow cell phones in school, maybe to reduce on the destruction caused by the gadgets. Teachers can simply regulate the time of using cell phones in school. Cell phones can be used by students by report any emergencies. Students can contact their parents if the school has closed because of natural disaster or any other abrupt cause. Cell phones can be used as reminders. Students take more one subject in a day. They have loads of assignments which they have to finish on time. So it's very important by students to use phones as reminding gadgets. Mobile application can help students remember when to submit a specific coursework. Now, when a test will be done. Now, when a teacher will be in class, help teachers be in touch with their students and parents. I remember my cousin when she was still in college. She used to have a tight schedule. She used to get lots of courseworks when she find it difficult to balance her time. Sometimes she could submit her works when it was too late. Now, with the help of this application, students like its made sample, the application can be used by teacher text reminding messages about coursework or tests. Besides from use as reminders, it can also make to access internet. Students need internet to make research. So it's logical if students are allowed to use cell phones in school. All smartphones can access internet, which can help students to make extensive personal reading. Schools can use computers in classroom, but encourage phone usage out of the classroom. Schools can provide free Wi-Fi, internet at school so that their students can easily access internet while at school. Other reason why cell phones can be used are communication in schools. Besides taking pictures or recording videos and podcasts, cell phones can be used as educational communication while in school or classroom. The easiest ways students and teachers can communicate using cell phones can be text messaging. Teacher can simplify use mass texting service to communicate with students and parents. Then students can use Twitter to stay in touch with their classmates and exchange academic information. Shy students will find it easier to communicate through cell phones rather than face-to-face communication. Cell phones needs to be used in school enables students to make their work with other questions.
My question is, are you sure that it is necessary for students to use cell phones at school?
Yes, because it can be used for many educational things like research, projects, calculators, and even putting in important dates when a homework or project is due.
I call in the second speaker from the affirmative side, Ms. Rachel Ann Romalay.
Good morning, everyone. I am Rochelan L. Romalay, the second speaker of the affirmative side.
Let me focus on the benefits of the issue. Though cell phones are very trendy in this generation, wherein we can see most of the time people facing with their cell phones. There are several harmful effects of using cell phones too much. First, radiation. Phone is very high on radiation, especially when it is used in a dark place since it can damage your eyesight. If it's too much, it can cause skin cancer. Research shows that electromagnetic radiation emitted by mobile phones get absorbed in the tissues when we hold the phone or for longer times.
The nervous system of teens are still developing and have greater risk of developing brain cancer from cell phones than adults. Second, teen tendinitis. Teenagers are totally addicted to texting. Excess messaging can lead to teen tendinitis. It can cause pain in the hands, back, and the neck due to poor posture. It can also lead to impaired vision and even arthritis down the line. Next is stress. Having a cell phone will attempt your teen to spend all day talking or texting instead of doing anything productive. Studies have proven that teens who spend too much of their time with their cell phones are more prone to stress and fatigue. It can also lead to psychological disorders in some cases. Next is sleep loss. Most of the teens keep their cell phones nearby while sleeping to respond to texts and calls. They feel pressurized to remain reachable around the clock. It leads to sleep interruption and disruption. Teens also become irritable when they are deprived of sleep. Accidents. Teens are more likely to respond to calls, text while driving, and riding than adults. They talk and text on the phone without realizing that it can cost their lives. Even U.S. government website of distracted driving has proven that traffic crashes are the leading cause of death in teens. Another is cell phone increases anxiety. Relying on texting as a primary mode of communication can increase anxiety in teens. Texting is instantly gratifying but it also produces anxiety. The instant reply by a friend can bring joy and elation. But in case of delayed response or no response, this same pleasure turns into disappointment. Last is cyberbullying. According to a poll conducted by a Fight Crime Invest in Kids, nearby 1/3 of the teens are victims of cyberbullying, and almost half of victims do not know the identity of the perpetrators. This evidence will prove our stand that students should not be allowed to use cell phones.
Or the effect, how can you solve it?
Problem by first, we should limit our time for using cell phones. Second, spend our time with our families, friends, and relatives. And lastly, control yourself and have self-discipline so that you will not crave to buy new models of cell phones.
Call in the second speaker of the negative side, Mr. Carl Ivan Hortila.
Good morning, everyone. I am Carl Ivan P. Hortelano, and I am the second speaker of the negative side. And I'm going to present the practicality of using cell phone. Nowadays, the cell phone is practical because it can give us a faster communication with other people. Cell phones have changed how we negotiate our relationship with family, spouses, and close friends. Increased levels of cell phone subscriptions are linked with improvements in education, gender equality, and political participation, particularly in developing countries. Cell phones enable new services and applications that provide opportunities to generate income. Furthermore, the access to information, increased communication that mobile communication facilitates coordination, resulting in productivity gains. Cell phones are also enable immediate responses to crises and shocks that without them may lead to destructions of crops or machinery. Cell phones are also often the first and the only way of communication without having to travel under difficult circumstances. Cell phones significantly help to maintain physical and psychological health that family members move away from home. Cell phones can help like students to their studies that they will never go to computer that can pay too much. Cell phone can connect to us, our loved ones, enable business, help us behave more intelligently, and give intelligent a viral voice. Especially important in countries where phones are the only real means people have to spread information. Mobile phones have changed the way we interact with the world. Mobile phones are helping to expand environmental awareness, reduce inefficiencies, and find solutions. They can be used to check up on the brands we buy, advocate for change, warn farmers about elephant herds, monitor pollution, and maybe soon turn us into amateur botanists.
Progress is if the minds of many users are addicted on cell phones.
Thank you for the nice question. Each one of us is addicting in cell phones, so we should be the one to set limits and control using cell phones and not to extent of abusing it.
Now the third speaker of the affirmative side, Randy Baloncio.
Good morning, everyone, my name is Randy Jun Baloncio, the third speaker of the affirmative side. I would like to discuss the necessity of not allowing students to use cell phones, most especially at home and while driving. We should not allow students to use cell phones at home because cell phone can distract our studies, our work, and also affect the health of many users. In driving or traveling, cell phone is not allowed because cell phone can affect the concentration of many drivers and it can cause accidents. And according to the CNN news report, texting while driving can cause accidents of almost 1.3 million cars crashes every year. To prevent these accidents, our government implemented the Republic Act number 10913 that penalized all motorists, including students, who engage in undistracted driving. But even if our government already implemented this act, many motorists still choose texting while driving. Car accident is not only the cause of cell phones, also the pedestrian accident. While texting or talking on the phone, you become less aware of your surroundings, which can lead you to risky situations. Not seeing where you are walking could cause you to accidentally walk into the road, thinking it is still the sidewalk, and get hit by incoming vehicle. At stoplights, you only have so much time to walk across the street until the vehicle starts to come towards you. With your eyes down looking at your phone, you become messed when the sign tells you to walk, making you start walking across late, not getting to the other side in time. The stoplights will turn green, and in big cities, cars will not wait at intersections like they do in small towns. Walking while distracted can also cause you to walk in stationary objects. These reasons, we in the affirmative side strongly agree that students should not be allowed to use cell phones.
If we are going to ban cell phones while traveling, what if there are emergencies like car accidents and other?
Cell phone should not be allowed when you are driving because it can distract your concentration and it will cause into accident. But if there are emergencies, we should stop first the vehicle before using cell phones.
May I call now the third speaker of the negative side, Julian Tanyola.
I am Julian M. Tanyola, the third speaker of the opposition side. In this technological generation, nowadays, cell phone is the prime, high-tech, and commonly used by many because it can communicate from one place to another quickly. The first basis will be on a family monitor. Assuming that a member of our family were in a tragic life loss, then we don't have a cell phone. So we can force ourselves to go to him or her, but we are wasting our money. But if there is a useful and as well as life-living device, it is the cell phone. It will help us do things quick. It will help us connect and contact people whom will be our savior in times of consequences. We can call and text from any places. The second is during travel. The main reason for the explosive growth of the cell phones is the safety aspect. Cell phone make it easy to contact during emergency, even during driving.
The most important benefits of cell phones during driving is the security factor. During emergency situation, cell phones can provide help and driver can make emergency calls, even reporting any dangerous scenarios such as roadside accidents. Through cell phones, a driver can locate the desired route. Furthermore, using FMs on cell phones can provide information about weather and traffic. The third is GPS tracking. Can be a benefit of cell phones to parents who want to be able to keep tabs on their children's whereabouts. GPS tracking a cell phone can provide peace of mind to concerned parents and teachers if a student is reported missing or has gone somewhere of concern. It is a unique device normally desired carried by a moving vehicle or person that uses the global position system to determine and track its precise location and hence that of its carrier at intervals.
Do you think it is reasonable for students to use cell phones at home even if it causes laziness and lack of time for sleep?
Yes, because some students do sleep early because they are doing their assignments and projects. And sometimes students become lazy. It is because they are busy doing their assignments, project, and thinking for their grades.
Let me call in the team leader from the affirmative side to read the summary.
I would like to sum up the presentation of the three speakers. The first speaker talks about students should not be allowed to use cellular phones at school. Of course, we should not be allowing students to use cellular phones because they would provide distractions for students and teachers, allow for cheating on tests, and for other social reasons. If a student's cell phone rang during class, it would obviously distract him or her from the class and whatever the teacher is teaching. If this continued, it could prove detrimental to that student's education. If cell phones were allowed in school, they would increase the amount of time students are talking when they don't need to, making the class more difficult to teach, take longer, and be less educational. If cell phones were allowed in school, very few students would actually pay attention to what is being taught. The second speaker discussed about using cellular phones while driving. In using cellular phone while driving, based on the CNN News report, texting while driving is one of the main causes of almost 1.3 million car crashes every year. Several of these car accidents have led to death or serious lifelong injuries. In order to prevent crashes due to texting, our government implemented this Republic Act 10913 that penalized all motorists, including students who engage in a distracted driving. And the third speaker explained about the harmful side effects of cellular phone. Cellular phones are very trendy in this generation. We see people everywhere facing in their phones, but it has limitation because what I'm going to talk is about the harmful side effects of mobile phones, like radiation, risk of cancer, teen tendinitis, stress, sleep loss, accidents, increased anxiety, and cyberbullying. It is important to take good care of yourself, and we know that the addiction of cellular phones grows stronger and stronger. And we know that the affirmative side has the right and good way to prevent the bad effects in cell phones. We should not allow our environment damage because of the cellular phones. We should not let them use cellular phones without limitations. We should help our world. We know that it is important, but we should not abuse ourselves in using cellular phones. Therefore, we strongly conclude that students should not be allowed to use cell phones. Many students spend an average of 10 hours a day on their cell phones, with heavy use, possibly leading to poor performance in the classroom. Cell phones in the classroom will serve as distraction to students' learning, and students' grade would greatly suffer. Cell phones should not be allowed in school because it would make bullying a lot easier. Rumors and news would spread 10 times quicker than if no one had their cell phones on them. This faster form bullying would make school even worse of the students who are already bullied. Cell phones are impersonal and rather antisocial if a student is using their phone to text during class all the time. They wouldn't need to be as good at actually talking to others. We could degenerate social skills, which are very important in life for jobs, creating good family relationships, making and keeping friends. Despite what many students argue, allowing cell phones during school would not be a good idea because distractions to students and also to the teachers, a new easy way of cheating on tests, and it has social problems, including loss of social skills, sexting, and cyberbullying. All in all, school will be a better learning environment and better prepare students for life if cell phones are continued to be banned during school days. Thank you.
Now, let me call in the team leader from the negative side. Read the
I would like to sum up the presentation of three speakers. First speaker talks about why students should use cell phones at school. Students should use cell phone at school because it can be used for many educational things like research, projects, calculators, and even putting in important dates when a homework or a project is due. You can also use cell phone to call or text your teacher if there are lessons that you didn't understand or miss. Since cell phones gives easy access to the internet, students will not go to internet cafe and pay chargeable price. You can also use a phone to call or text your parents if you have forgotten some things at home. The second speaker explained about the benefits given by the cell phone in our economy. Cell phones have had a profound impact on a number of different industries, helping to develop new communities and business networks in economics on a global scale. Not only are these devices able to connect people to their customer in a new way, they also allow groups from different socioeconomic backgrounds to engage in consumer behavior without traditional financial institutions to help them. Cell phones help instigate and encourage economic growth in developing nations. The third speaker discussed about why students should use cell phones at home or in trouble. Students should use cell phones while in trouble because cell phones serve as an emergency tool for them in case of disaster comes. Because of cell phones, we can call the authorities or medical service faster. Students should use cell phones while at home so the parents can be in touch with their children even if they are away from home. Therefore, cell phones could help us in so many ways. Cell phones can be positive teaching tools, but they can also be detrimental to the environment in the classroom. While they can save a life, they can also destroy one. However, they may appear, it is essential that children and youth learn about the reality of cell phones. In doing so, they can make positive choices on how and when they use these devices. And because of cell phones, we can communicate faster with other people, especially at school. It can help us in searching about our lesson. It serves as our emergency tool if disaster comes. And because of cell phones, we can keep in touch with our loved ones even if they are away from home, and because of cell phones, we become a responsible individual.
We are done with the exchanging of ideas by team, and we will entertain questions now from the audience. Is there any question from the audience? Yes, please introduce yourself first.
Hello. I'm Ayan Magante. I would like to address this question to the opposition side. You said a while ago that cell phones are useful for everything. But other students or people are addicted to it. How can we prevent the addiction of cell phones?
As Mr. Ortelano said earlier, we have to set limit or control ourselves in using cell phones and not to the extent of abusing it.
There another question from the audience?
I am Trinity Patino. I would like to address the question of the opposition side. Why do you say that cell phones are the perfect way to stay connected with others? I think explain.
Cell phones are perfect way to stay connected with others because we can communicate faster with other people even if they are away.
Still another question from the audience? Yes.
I am Gloria Sano. I would like to address my question to the affirmative side. My question is, why students should stop using their cell phones at school, where in fact cell phones are useful for their schooling?
Because it is against the rules in school policies and is the main cause of distraction in class. During a lesson, students who use cell phone in class will get distracted and also they waste their time instead of understanding the lesson. Consequently, they will receive a low grade and get failure. Not only students who use their cell phones will get distracted, but also rest students in class will be influenced by students who use cell phones in class. Some students annoy other students by texting or sending message to them, so they cannot concentrate on teacher's lecture and get a low grade as well. Another factor can cause distraction in class is ringtone. When cell phone rings during a lesson, it usually interrupts teacher's ideas and make him or her upset, and also wastes part of class time. Using cell phone in class is not an appropriate concept, and also it decreases the learning capacity for students. Using cell phone has negative consequences on both teachers and students. Therefore, parents should constrain their children from using their cell phone inside school so that they can concentrate on their education rather than spending their whole time in texting messages and invading other students' privacy.
Another question? Yes, Mr.
I am Emerson Dioba. I would like to address the question to the affirmative side. Why do you think some people call cell phones the newest cigarette?
Because many people are using cell phones just like a cigarette. Nowadays, people are addicted using cellular phones, and it can cause harmful effects in our body, accidents, and many more.
Okay, that was so very changing ideas, and I know some of you learned why cell phones are not allowed to use in school or traveling at homes. And the debate is almost done. Thank you, everyone.
This time, let us the winners for our debate. So, having the higher score compared to the other one, let us now give a big round of applause to our winner, the affirmative side. Okay, thank you very much. And congratulations, affirmative side. And negative side, we still congratulate you for doing your best. Okay, so this time, I would like you to prepare one whole sheet of paper and make a critical reflection regarding our debate. And before we continue, I would like to thank our three judges for being with us this morning and for being our witness in our debate. Thank you and good morning.